In 2022, LEGO had made more money than they had in their entire 90-year history. More money than the Star Wars era, more money than the Harry Potter boom, more money than they ever made. So why does every LEGO fan I talk to feel like there's something wrong with LEGO? Here's what nobody is saying out loud. LEGO's best financial year ever was also the moment the LEGO we grew up with stopped existing. And I can tell you the exact year it happened. But before we get into that, I need to show you something that's genuinely going to make you angry if you're a LEGO fan. Because the way LEGO's been treating their minifigures tells you everything you need to know about how much they actually care about their product. I'll show you exactly what I mean in a minute. For most of LEGO's history, their job was simple. Make cool sets, make them creative, make kids, and honestly adults want to buy them because their product was so good. Classic space, pirates, castle, these weren't tied to movies or TV shows. LEGO just invented worlds and people love them. The licensed themes came along. Star Wars in 1999, Harry Potter in 2001. And honestly, for a long time, it worked great. The sets matched what fans wanted and the minifigures were detailed. The sets felt like they respected the source material. That's the key word, respected. Because what happened in 2019 is when LEGO stopped respecting the product and started respecting the profit margin instead. Here's the timeline. In 2019, LEGO's revenue was $5.9 billion. By 2022, it had jumped up to $64.6 billion. That's a 67% increase in 3 years. Now on the surface that sounds amazing, and for shareholders it is, but here's what changed to make that happen. In 2020, right off the back of 2019, LEGO launched their brand new 18+ line. Black boxes, premium prices, sets designed directly for adults that put on a shelf and never touch again. And look, some of those sets are genuinely impressive. I'm not saying adults shouldn't have cool Legos, but what happened next is the problem. LEGO realized adult collectors would pay more, a lot more. And that realization quickly changed how they designed every set, including the ones that weren't just in black boxes. And nowhere is that more obvious than what happened to licensed sets, specifically on how LEGO started shipping sets that had almost nothing to do with the movie they were based off of. I'll show you a perfect example of that coming up. Let's talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the biggest movies of 2021. Billion-dollar box office, LEGO fans were so hyped for the sets that could come off this movie. It should be an incredible wave of sets. LEGO released our No Way Home sets, and fans immediately noticed something off. The sets weren't based off scenes from the movie. You had a generic Spider-Man set with barely any connection to what was actually on screen. No spoiler sets, fine, I get that. But a year later, LEGO dropped a second wave actually based off the film, which means LEGO shipped the first wave knowing it was essentially fake. They used the movie's hype to sell a product that didn't deliver on that hype. And this isn't a one-off. This is a business model now. License the IP, write the marketing wave at release, deliver the minimum because they know fans will buy it anyway. When LEGO respected the products, licensed sets felt like celebrations of things you love. Now they feel like a cash grab wearing the costume of the thing you love. But honestly, the licensed set problem isn't the most disrespectful thing LEGO has done since 2019. Because what they've done to minifigures, specifically Star Wars figures, is the kind of thing that should make every LEGO fan furious. And I've got the receipts. If you've been collecting LEGO Star Wars for any length of time, you know Clone Troopers are basically the crown jewel of the theme. Highly detailed, iconic, and the kind of minifigures people army build. Old Clone Troopers had printed legs, detailed torso prints, fabric wastegapes that gave them actual depth. That's all the detail that any LEGO fan should expect from their Clone Troopers. Now let's look at what they're shipping. Plain legs, no wastegapes, and the helmet holes, they're in the wrong spot. The printing details are simplified, same price, less product, less care. And this is not just happening with Clone Troopers. This is happening across every theme. Minifigures that used to have high detail are now lacking the detail. Faces that used to have correct detail to the actual person they're portraying now just don't have that. LEGO calls this vague engineering. Fans call it what it actually is. Shrinkflation applied to things that make LEGO LEGO. Now here's what gets me. LEGO profits went up, but their quality went down. That's not a coincidence, that's a decision. Someone in a boardroom looked at a Clone Trooper and said, do we really need that wastecape? And the answer they got back was, no, not if it saves us money. So why is 2019 specifically the last good year of LEGO? 2019, LEGO was primarily focused on making great sets. 2020 is when the strategy visibly changed. 18+ to push the adult collector pivot. The licensed sets got lazier, and the minifigures got pushed to the side. Look at the 2019 catalog. You had a creative variety, you still had themes getting genuine effort, sets that felt like someone said, what would a kid or passionate adult actually want to build? Now look at the current catalog. It's dominated by licensed IPs, the original themes that survived get smaller budgets, the minifigures get less detail, and every year there are more $500 adult display pieces. LEGO didn't get lazy, they got worse because they got smart. Smart about extracting money from their fan base that loves the product too much to walk away. And the messed up part? The numbers don't lie. Record profits year after year. LEGO figured out they could give you less and charge you more, and you'd still buy. The question is, how long will this keep going before it stops being true? So that's my take. 2019 was the last good year of LEGO, and everything since has been LEGO cashing on the goodwill they spent decades building. Do you agree? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know down in the comments about what you guys think about the current state of LEGO. And if you want to hear more in depth about why I think LEGO Star Wars is going down, click this video right here where I talk about LEGO Star Wars getting worse. Or if you want to know about how LEGO is shrinking their product and giving you less, click this video right here where I talk about LEGO shrinkflation. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.